All right, it's ChatGPT back. I didn't know it was gone. Um, there have been some great updates to ChatGPT. Let's listen in and check this out.
OpenAI has made so many updates in the past week to both their default models and features inside their Codex app. We'll talk about all that in a second, along with some announcements from Google that makes Gemini even more of an insane value and updates to Notebook LM and Pomeli. There's a lot to talk about. My name is Paul J. Lipsky, and on this channel, I talk about all the stuff that's going on with AI that non-technical users actually care about. And every week, I release a news recap video just like this one to help you stay informed. Let's first talk about what OpenAI has been up to. So first, OpenAI has updated the default model for ChatGPT. It is now 5.5 instant, which is supposed to be smarter, clearer, and more personalized. The biggest difference I've noticed is that it's just less annoying. For months now, I just have not been able to use ChatGPT because every time I would talk with it, it would give me these long, verbose answers that which just had way too much information in them. And the new model 5.5 is just so much more concise and actually gives me helpful.
Now, I like a lot of information. I think that can be very helpful. So I think that depends on how you're using the model and what you're using it for.
Information without repeating itself over and over and over again. So I'm really enjoying this new update. It makes ChatGPT actually usable for me. And you can see an example here of the two models side by side. So on the left is 5.3, on the right is 5.5. The same question. 5.3 gives a really long, again, sort of repetitive answer with a lot of fluff. And 5.5 is a lot more to the point while still having enough to answer the question. OpenAI has also added trusted contacts into ChatGPT.
I still think there's a lot of fluff in those answers.
So if you opt into this, then if ChatGPT notices that you're having some kind of emotional crisis, it will reach out to your trusted contact and let them know that something might be wrong. I think this is a really smart move on their part. You know, a lot of people use ChatGPT and other AI chatbots sort of as an emotional support, and that can be problematic. So the fact that this is now being added, I think is a smart idea. But of course, people have to opt in for it to actually work. Okay, so some other updates from OpenAI. So Sam Altman has said that they are working on improvements to voice in chat. This past week, they released in the API some new real-time voice models. So that's very promising. They're supposed to be very good. And hopefully we see those improvements now being brought over to ChatGPT itself for voice mode. Sam Altman has said, I think this past week, that he understands that voice mode isn't as good as text chat. It's just not there. And he really wants it to be better. He really sees voice chat as a way that a lot of people are going to or do interact with ChatGPT and are going to want to do more in the future. So he really wants to make it a lot better. So that does seem to be a priority. They also released this very cryptic tweet today. Not sure what this is all about, but they love hype. So we'll see if there's an update to this and what this means. I'll let you guys know next week. And then finally, OpenAI has released some new updates to Codex over the past week. I first talked about Codex last week in my news recap. This is an app that's very similar to Claude Cowork, if you're familiar with that. You download it onto your computer and
I love Codex. And the thing I don't understand is when you think about accounting, we mostly use Windows, and you can use Codex in Windows and download it, but all of the updates are going to Mac.
You can interact with individual files or folders on your computer. So nothing is being done in the cloud. And a lot of people are absolutely loving Codex. I've already made 2 videos about it, and I think it is incredible. So definitely check out those videos when you get a chance. And they just released a new update. So there's a Chrome plugin for the Codex app, which means that it can now control your Chrome browser, just like Claude Cowork can. I actually did an entire video comparing the features inside of Codex versus Claude Cowork. I'll have that linked up for you at the end of the video so you don't forget. All right, let's talk about what Google has been up to in the world of AI.
All right. I'd really like to know what you think about the updates to ChatGPT. If you used any of them, if you think that they are any good. I love Codex, the Codex app. I think it's amazing. The functionality in the Windows world is not the greatest as compared to Mac. So we're lagging behind. So eventually we'll get the updates, but we're behind on things. So I want to hear what you think about it. I'm in Codex way more than I am in the actual UI for ChatGPT. Thank you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe.